The sun, a fiery orb, dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. Shadows stretched across the labyrinthine alleys of Old Dhaka, creating a mesmerizing interplay of light and dark. A warm orange glow lingered in the sky, casting a serene yet vibrant ambiance over the city. The air, thick with humidity and anticipation, crackled with a palpable energy as if the very atmosphere was charged with excitement. It was Ramadan, and the faithful were approaching the hour of Iftar, the breaking of the fast, a moment eagerly awaited by all. The narrow streets, usually bustling with vendors and shoppers, were now transforming into a vibrant, aromatic wonderland, filled with the promise of delicious feasts. The air hummed with activity, a symphony of sounds that spoke of preparation and anticipation. Makeshift stalls, draped in colorful cloth, materialized as if by magic, each one a beacon of culinary delight. The tantalizing aromas of spices, sizzling meat, and sweet treats wafted through the air, a siren song to empty stomachs and eager hearts, drawing people in like moths to a flame. This was no ordinary market, it was a sensory overload, a feast for the eyes, nose, and palate. This was the Iftar Bazaar of Old Dhaka, a temporary culinary paradise that emerged each evening during the holy month, a place where tradition met taste. A place where tradition intertwined with taste, and community spirit was as rich as the aromas that filled the air, creating an atmosphere of unity and joy. For a month, this ancient city would come alive with a special kind of energy, an energy that was both electric and comforting, an energy that whispered of shared faith, familial bonds, and the simple joy of breaking bread together, a moment of connection and celebration. An energy that young Arif, clinging to his father's hand, was about to experience for the very first time, a memory that would be etched in his heart forever.
Wow, look at all this, Baba!
Arif, his eyes wide with wonder, gripped his father's hand tightly. The sights, sounds, and smells of the bazaar were unlike anything he'd encountered before. It was overwhelming, exhilarating, a feast for his senses.
It's amazing, isn't it, Arif?
His father, a tall man with kind eyes and a gentle smile, navigated the crowded lanes with practiced ease. He would lean down occasionally, whispering explanations into Arif's ear, answering his endless questions about the unfamiliar sights and the mouth-watering smells that surrounded them. They passed stalls piled high with dates, their sticky sweetness promising instant energy after a long day of fasting. Heaps of vibrant fruits, mangoes, lychees, and watermelons, glistened under the glow of lanterns. Arif craned his neck, trying to take it all in. The vibrant chaos was both exciting and a little bit frightening.
Don't worry, son, you'll soon see. The Iftar Bazaar is a magical place.
The aroma hit Arif first, a spicy, savory scent that tickled his nose and made his stomach rumble in anticipation.
This is where we begin our Iftar Bazaar adventure.
His father stopped in front of a stall, its banner proudly proclaiming Boro Bapur Pole K. Boro Bapur Pole K, Arif learned, was more than just a dish. It was a heritage food, passed down through generations. A lentil soup, slow-cooked with beef shanks and infused with a symphony of spices. Ginger, garlic, turmeric, cumin, and coriander. Arif watched, mesmerized, as the vendor ladled the steaming soup into earthenware bowls. A sprinkle of fresh cilantro, a squeeze of lemon, and it was ready. The first taste was an explosion of flavor. Savory, spicy, and deeply comforting. Arif understood why this dish held a place of honor on iftar tables across the city. The journey continued, each step revealing new delights, each corner turned unveiling a new culinary adventure. The air crackled with the sounds of frying, a symphony of sizzles and pops. Fresh singaras, crispy and hot, get them while they're fresh. Singaras, crispy pastry parcels filled with spiced potatoes and vegetables, sizzled in giant woks, their aroma wafting through the air. Arif watched as the vendor expertly flipped them, ensuring an even golden brown, each one a perfect little package of flavor. Next door, a mountain of golden brown aloo chop beckoned, their spicy scent impossible to resist.
Get your aloo chop here, spicy and crispy, perfect for a quick snack.
These lentil and potato patties, spiced with chilies and cilantro, were deep fried to crispy perfection, each bite a burst of flavor. The aroma, earthy and inviting, filled Arif's senses, making his mouth water in anticipation. Further down, the air grew smoky, the scent of grilled meats mingling with the spices. This was the domain of the kebab vendors, masters of the grill.
Juicy kebabs, fresh off the grill. Come and get them.
Skewers of marinated chicken, beef, and goat meat sizzled over charcoal grills, filling the air with a mouth-watering aroma that was impossible to ignore. The sight of the glistening meat, charred at the edges, made Arif's mouth water, each skewer promising a burst of smoky, savory goodness. But the Iftar Bazaar wasn't just about savory treats, it was a celebration of flavors, both sweet and savory. Sweets held a special place in the heart of this nightly feast, each one a little piece of heaven. Arif's eyes widened at the sight of glistening jalebis, their intricate spirals promising a sugary crunch that was simply irresistible. There were mounds of chom-chom, bright orange sweet cheese dumplings soaked in sugary syrup, each one a bite of pure delight. And then, the piece de resistance, the Bombay Jilapi, a true masterpiece of flavor and texture. These oversized, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes drenched in rose-scented syrup were a specialty of Old Dhaka, a treat that Arif looked forward to every year. As the sky deepened into a velvety indigo, the call to Maghrib prayer echoed through the city, signaling the end of the day's fast. The air, thick with the aromas of food and the murmur of conversation, fell silent as the first notes of the azan rang out. A sense of reverence descended upon the bazaar, transforming the bustling market into a place of quiet reflection.
Arif, it's time. Let's stop and face the direction of Mecca as we do every evening.
Yes, Baba. I can feel the calmness all around us. It's like the whole world pauses with us.
Arif and his father, along with the rest of the crowd, stopped in their tracks, united in their devotion. They faced the direction of Mecca, their heads bowed in prayer, a collective moment of faith and unity. The words of the azan, the call to prayer, washed over them, a reminder of faith, community, and the shared journey of Ramadan.
The azan always brings such peace, doesn't it? It's like a soothing balm for the soul.
It really does. It feels like we're all connected in this moment, sharing the same breath, the same peace.
As the last echoes of the prayer faded, the atmosphere shifted, signaling the return to the vibrant life of the bazaar. The Iftar Bazaar came alive once more, buzzing with energy and anticipation. This time it was the clinking of plates, the murmur of prayers, and the joyous greetings of Ramadan Mubarak that filled the air, creating a symphony of togetherness.
Here, Arif, have a date. It's the perfect way to break our fast, just as the Prophet did.
Thank you, Baba. The sweetness of the date is just what I needed after a long day.
Dates were passed around, their sweetness the first taste to break the day-long fast, a symbol of tradition and nourishment. Water flowed freely, quenching parched throats and bringing relief. And then, the feast began, a celebration of community, faith, and the blessings of Ramadan. Arif and his father found a spot on a bench, surrounded by families and friends, all sharing in the joy of Iftar. They spread out their culinary treasures, the steaming boro baper polai kai, a plate piled high with singaras and aloo chop, skewers of smoky kebabs, and a selection of sweets to satisfy even the sweetest tooth.
The first bite after a day of fasting was pure bliss. Flavors exploded on Arif's tongue.
The spices, the textures, the aromas, it was an orchestra of culinary delights. But it was more than just the food. It was the atmosphere, the sense of community, the shared experience of breaking the fast together.
Arif, caught up in the moment, understood the true meaning of Ramadan. It wasn't just about abstaining from food and drink, it was about sharing, about compassion, about coming together as one community.
As the moon climbed high in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the city, Arif and his father made their way home. Their stomachs were full, their hearts content. The streets were still bustling, the Iftar Bazaar far from winding down.
Arif, his hand tucked securely in his father's, walked in comfortable silence. His senses were still buzzing from the sights, sounds, and smells of the bazaar. He had experienced something special, something he knew he would never forget.
His father, sensing his son's contemplative mood, smiled down at him. "So, Arif," he asked, "what did you think of your first Iftar Bazaar?"
Arif struggled to find the words. It was more than just good or exciting. It was an experience that had touched him deeply. It was, he began, then paused, searching for the right words. It was magical.
His father chuckled, a warm sound that echoed in the night air. "Yes, Arif," he agreed, "it certainly is."
As they walked, the Iftar Bazaar began to fade into the distance. But its essence lingered, not just in the lingering aroma of spices on Arif's clothes, but in the warmth that spread through his chest. He understood now, the Iftar Bazaar wasn't just about food, it was a celebration of heritage, a tapestry woven from generations of tradition. It was about families coming together, sharing stories and laughter over plates piled high with food. It was about the spirit of community, of generosity, of faith. His first Iftar Bazaar had been a sensory overload, a kaleidoscope of sights, sounds, and smells. But more importantly, it had been a journey into the heart of his culture. A journey that had left him with a newfound appreciation for his heritage and a heart full of memories. The streets of Old Dhaka were slowly emptying now. The last of the Iftar crowds were heading home, their bellies full, their spirits high. Arif, his hand still tucked in his father's, walked a little taller, his heart brimming with the joy of discovery. As they reached their doorstep, Arif turned to look back one last time. The glow of the Iftar Bazaar had faded now, but its memory lingered in the air, a promise whispered on the night wind.
He knew with a certainty that settled deep in his bones that he would be back. He would be back for the scent of frying singaras and the smoky allure of kebabs. He would be back for the sweetness of jalebis and the comforting warmth of boro bapor pole K. But most of all, he would be back for that feeling of belonging, of community, of shared traditions that had wrapped around him like a warm embrace.
The Iftar Bazaar was more than just a market. It was a living, breathing entity, a testament to the enduring spirit of Old Dhaka. And Arif, now a part of its fabric, knew that he would carry its magic with him until next Ramadan and beyond.